4 minutes, so hang on with us, but we're so glad you're here. We'll get started in just about 2 minutes. Okay, I think we'll go ahead and get started this afternoon. We're so pleased to have Kayla Ronfeldt. Ms. Ronfeldt is a teacher at our Lutheran school in Denison, Iowa, and was VBS coordinator up in Shaler, Iowa. Those are my old stomping grounds, so I'm excited to have. And tell me, Kayla, you are a Hawkeye, of course.
I am.
That a girl. Okay, now we can continue with the webinar. So good. But we're so glad all of you have joined us today to be on this webinar for Vacation Bible School. Just a couple of housekeeping items. You'll notice down in the left-hand corner of your screen, there's a chat feature. If you have any questions for Kayla or want her to address something further or explain something, please type your response or your question down there in that chat feature. And at the end of our webinar, we'll have a little Q&A time, so you have an opportunity to have your question asked. And also, if you think of anything during that webinar, please put that in that chat feature. And before we get going, we'd love to start with a word of prayer. I will remind you, though, at the very end of our webinar today, you will have an opportunity to receive Kayla's PowerPoint, so you can download that, and you will also receive a connection to give us an evaluation of our webinar today. We're always trying to find out how we can do things better, and so we'd love your feedback from that as well. So without further ado, let's begin with a word of prayer. Gracious Lord, our Heavenly Father, we give you thanks that you give us so many opportunities to minister to so many different people with your word, your precious word, life that is found in Jesus Christ and him alone. And you give us these opportunities in many and various ways, and one of the joyous ways to do that is through Vacation Bible School, where we get to meet with young people and old alike and volunteers, and we have a time for fun and for joy and most importantly, to learn more about you. We give thanks for this time, for our presenter, Kayla, and for the opportunity to learn and grow with one another. We pray your blessing be on our time today and all of those ministries which you have called us to do, to reach out to those in where we have been planted to spread that gospel message of joy. In the name of Christ we pray. Amen. All right, Kayla, take it away.
All right. Well, I'm just going to go off by I'm Kayla. And this is just kind of my outreach on how we have a small congregation here in Shaler. I'm in Denison right now. But it's just kind of VBS this is how our community did a whole outreach to the whole community and not just to our church, and how we made our Vacation Bible School grow. First, I'm going to learn how to, there we go. First, I'm going to talk about my history with Vacation Bible School. I went to Haiti my senior year of high school, and while we were there, we did Vacation Bible School for Jacmel, the town that we were in. It was really cool because we were still able to do songs and do crafts with them, even though we couldn't speak Creole and most of them couldn't speak English. We had a translator, so when we would do the skit, we would have a translator translating everything that we were doing, and we were still sharing the same message of Jesus. So that was a really cool experience that I had. That was with a group called Iowa. I also went to inner city LA. I've gone there twice now for trips with Iowa, and every time we go there, we're there for 2 weeks. While we are there, we work with 5 different churches, and we do a vacation Bible school for them. The first week, we all work together at one church, and then the second week, we split up into groups, and so some people will go to a morning church and then an afternoon church. So we'll have an evening vacation Bible school there. So those were my experiences with vacation Bible school with Iowa, which really helped me because we were the ones that were leading it. We were, the song helpers, the craft helpers, the skits, everything. We were in charge, the lessons. There you can see we also painted a mural. So even though we only do vacation Bible school for a few hours at those churches, we also help the church in any way that they need it. So some we painted a mural. The other ones there were washing windows. So anything that the churches needed down there. And my other experience with vacation Bible school was in my hometown. We always used to have Camp Okoboji come and do our vacation Bible school, which they did a great job. And but we as a congregation felt that we were more inclined to not do Camp Okoboji anymore, and then just have our own leader in our own congregation, which has turned into that we've been able to do more outreach and other opportunities there. But I was always a volunteer to help with any volunteering during the week when Camp Okoboji did come. All right, so then I'm going to go on to my 3 years as a VBS coordinator. I was a junior in college when Pastor Lyons asked me to be the vacation Bible school coordinator, and I was so scared because I was like, well, I don't know what to do. I don't know. I had no idea what I was getting myself into, and I didn't know what to expect. But with the help, with all my experience with Haiti and California, and just helping out anyways in Shaler at their vacation Bible school, God was actually preparing me in a way that I didn't know. So my first year was in 2014. Our theme was Under Construction in the Name of Christ. There you can see our group of campers, Vacation Bible School, in front of a backhoe. I think it's a backhoe or something. I asked a guy in town that did construction, and he brought that so we could get a group photo with it. But that first year, I was really clueless as to how to plan everything. I had no idea what to expect that first year. It was when I was in California and Haiti, everyone else had done all the planning, and I just came and did my part. Well, here I learned so much more about different things that the VBS coordinator is in charge of that I was not aware of. That year, I was in charge of games, so that was the one that I taught there. My next year was in 2015 with Camp Discovery, Jesus at Work Through Us. Our numbers grew just a little bit more that year, but it was kind of the same thing as the year before. I was learning every single time we did anything. So, but that year I was the craft teacher. So every year I always had some job of my own other than just being the coordinator. In 2016, this last summer was a huge hit for us. I'll talk about how to take notes and record and keep record of everything that happens, the good, bad, and the ugly. And this last summer was our biggest year for outreach. We got the highest number of kids that we've ever gotten before at Vacation Bible School. And the reason why our numbers grew so much was because we were able to, I learned new strategies of how to get the word out about Vacation Bible School. And this year, this 2016 year, I was the lessons teacher on top of being the coordinator. All right. So when planning a Vacation Bible School, it's very important to be very selective when you are selecting what week you want to do Vacation Bible School. This needs to happen months before. I know Pastor and we have already discussed for this summer, and we've already decided the week of July 17th is going to be when we are going to do Vacation Bible School. We try to, when we decide when we're going to do that, we really look at, okay, when are the county fairs around us? When are swimming lessons usually? When does baseball and softball end? That way we don't overlap with something else. I know one year with Camp Discovery, our Vacation Bible School time overlapped with swimming lessons. And so we really lost a lot of kids just to swimming lessons. And so it's just important to try and find a week that it doesn't overlap with something else in the community. For the times, we have found that it best works for our congregation in our town to do 9 to 11:45. We end at 11:45 because our school provides a free lunch in the summer. So that way kids can still go and eat their lunch, so that we end at 11:45 so they're able to go and eat lunch. Sometimes in the past we've done Monday through Thursday, doing a shorter week, and that was because we found that some families were leaving on a Friday for vacations or something else. So, and we were losing a lot of people on that Friday. So we would end our week and just have a 4-day week from Monday through Thursday. However, this last year with Barnyard Roundup, we decided just to do the full week, Monday through Friday. And we really didn't have any problems of anybody leaving early for vacations or anything. And it really worked best this year to do the Monday through Friday. Also, when we tried to select our date, our week that we're going to do Vacation Bible School, Pastor and I also look at when we have Mission Fest at our church with Mission Central in Mapleton. And that way we can kind of coordinate it, either have like a kickoff if we do it the week before, or kind of a closure type thing if we do it the week after Mission Central. So sometimes in years past, we've done an evening time. It wasn't when I was a helper, it was when I was a young girl going to Vacation Bible School. They would do an evening time to get more volunteers. So if you can't find volunteers to help you from 9 to 11:45, it's okay. You can do an evening time, and that way you can get more helpers. That way they can come after work or, something like that. We also did that when I was in California. We did an evening time at 2 different churches. And with that, you do have to serve a supper to them. Usually it would be like spaghetti or hot dogs or something like that, something simple. All right, getting the word out. I really failed. Not really failed. I learned. My first 2 years, we really didn't have much for getting the word out other than a few flyers around town. But this last year, we really improved on how we got the word out to other people. Just getting flyers out around town. We also give the flyers out to daycares, and we give them copies of it so they can send them home with the children that are going home with parents. This last year we did a Facebook page, and you'll see in these pictures a screenshot of the Facebook event that I created. With that, I put in all the information of what time and where, and that way parents could also know, like it would come up on their Facebook and they'd say, oh yeah, this is the week for that. I would also make sure that I would post regularly on it. This needs to be done months before VBS. That way people know, hey, like we shouldn't plan our family vacation this week because this is when VBS is going to be. So let's, not saying that they would plan their vacation around, but it might help. But having the Facebook page really helped to get the word out to other people, and even the people that I didn't even know. So I created the event, and then other people could invite their friends to it. So it was also nice that I was able to get more pre-registration done by this. I would have, I put on their pre-register by messaging myself, Kayla Ronfeldt. And when they would do that, then I could already get them pre-registered, and it made that first day of Vacation Bible School very less hectic and stressful because a lot of that work was already done. All right, volunteers. Oh, wait, I forgot one thing. Sorry. Okay, getting the word out, postcards, that's another thing. We send postcards to all church member families about Vacation Bible School, and even to families that come every year but may not be actual members of our church. So that's another way that we get our word out to them. Okay, volunteers. I'll keep calm if you help at Vacation Bible School. All right, so finding volunteers is a big struggle, and especially when you are from a small church and you have working families. It's rough, I understand. But I just want to talk about a little bit about how I was able to get volunteers. Ask the young and the wise. Okay, right there you see a picture of a very dear friend of mine. Her name is Ruth. She has helped out with Vacation Bible School every single year since I was a little girl. She's been there every year. She will be 91 March 6th this year, and she helps anywhere that she can possibly help. The kids love seeing her. So I just want to say that it doesn't matter how old you are or how young you are, you can help at Vacation Bible School. So really encourage even the elderly people in your church, the older generation, encourage them to come and help out. In our church, we are very blessed with many teachers and stay-at-home moms. So the teachers, when they have their summers off, I really bug them and ask them to help and teach and commit to the week of Vacation Bible School. I also ask high school and junior high kids. I coach softball in the summer, so this last summer I was able to kind of bug my softball girls to come and help with Vacation Bible School, and I was able to get a few more girls just to come and help with that. So that was cool that they're not from my church, but they were also able to just help with Vacation Bible School. And it's very important to ask for help early. Months, weeks before Vacation Bible School. Get that. Once when you have that date set of when you are going to have Vacation Bible School, it's very important to be asking people then, okay, hey, this is Vacation Bible School. Will you be able to help? Will you be around? And when I ask people, I give them the option. I say, okay, do you want crafts, snack, music, games, or lesson? Or do you just want to lead around a group from station to station? And with that, I usually get people like, there's one member in our congregation, her name is Jess, and she does the music every year because she has a beautiful voice. She loves to sing, and she's a teacher, so she's able to help out in the summer. And so it's really nice to have her come and do the music. So every year they know that she's with music. And then this last year we had somebody new as a helper come and do crafts, and she did an amazing job with crafts. Snack is usually Ruth that you see there, and Mallory. She's a stay-at-home mom, and they create the coolest snacks ever. Games, I usually try and find somebody new for that. And this year I got a Concordia student who is a member of our church to come and do games, which is really fun. And then lessons. This last year I taught the lessons. So, and in years past, my cousin, who is also a teacher, would do the lessons. But not this year. She had a baby. So, also, okay, so I get a lot of times when I ask people if they would come and if they would help, and I send a text to all the high school students and our youth group and everything like that, asking them. But a lot of times I get the answer, oh, I can't because of work. I have a summer job, or I have this, or from the high schoolers. But then also from adults, they can't commit to taking off 9 to 11:45 every day for a whole week from their job. And I understand that. And so then I will ask them, is there anything that you can donate? And so anything that they can donate for snacks or crafts, those are huge. That's a huge help for us. And so a list of donations for crafts we'll put in this church bulletin, or we'll make a list and put it out on the table in the church. I know for snacks, what Mallory usually does is she will call members of the church who have donated something in the past. So let's say Mrs. Jones donated 2 jugs of juice last year. So then this year when she needs juice, she will call her and say, hey, last year you donated 2 jugs of juice. Would you be willing to do that again this year? And that type of thing. That way we get the donations out of snacks and crafts that we need to make it a successful week. All right. Set up. Okay. So the 3 years that I was in charge, when I was in California doing Vacation Bible School, the setup wasn't really I didn't really do anything with that. So when I was in charge and I had to find like a theme or a scenery and a setup, it kind of stressed me out a little bit at first. But with the under construction, I called the county guy and I just asked him, I said, hey, I'm doing Vacation Bible School. And I was wondering, do you guys have any old signs I could borrow or anything like that? And they gave me so many different kinds of road signs, caution cones, anything. So, and that was really cool because then we could set that up around the church and in front of the altar. We also that year did the bright construction shirts, the yellow and the orange. That just kind of gave the kids the idea that we were under construction for Christ. And so it gave us, it was a cool feeling. And every day those kids got those same shirts to wear them. And they also got a hard hat with their name on it. So instead of just a plain name tag, they got a hat. So that was the under construction year. Camp Discovery, that was a camping theme one. So you can kind of see there in the picture that we just have a tent and a few trees and chair, and then we made a little campfire. That was kind of the easiest year to set up just because it didn't require a lot. I go camping a lot, so I just brought stuff from that we go camping with. Barnyard Roundup. That's not our church right there, but that barn is something that was from our church. I let that another congregation borrow our barn after our Vacation Bible School was over. So for Barnyard Roundup, I had looked at all the pictures of how the setup was from the Concordia Publishing House, and I needed cardboard. So I just posted on Facebook one day. I said, hey, I know this is an odd request, but does anybody have any cardboard I can borrow? And I got one of my classmates' dads. He messaged me and he goes, hey, I have so much cardboard. Where do you want it? And he had like the big sheets, which was perfect. And it just so happened that I have a really handy uncle who made the frame for me. And then I stapled the cardboard on, and I I painted and put on white tape to make the door and that type of thing. It was something kind of really just simple, but it really created the scene of a barn for our Vacation Bible School. And after we were done, I was able to give it to another church so that it could get more use. And I think they still have it from me, but it's all right. I don't need it now. So that was just something really cool that we did. We also had a bunch of hay. And when I was a teacher for the barnyard roundup, instead of them sitting at tables and chairs or anything like that, I put in hay bales. And so they sat on hay bales and we sat on the floor. And so it was more of a personal one-on-one thing than across the table I'm preaching at you. Next thing with Vacation Bible School, we have found it very beneficial to have an offering goal. And with that, we set a goal. So from when I went to Haiti, the group that I went with, we started up ETCH, which is Education to Change Haiti, where you can sponsor a child to go to school for a year and have food and clothes, basic needs met. So every year, our Vacation Bible School, we try and set the goal to support our Haitian child. Sebastian is his name. So this last year, we set a goal to support Sebastian, which is $250, I believe. And I had a poster of a silo. And so with the silo, we were able to track how much money we had raised with our offering. And with that, we well exceeded our goal, because we also told the campers that if we made our goal to support Sebastian and Sebastian got to go to school, that our pastor would kiss a pig. And there you can see Pastor Lyons getting ready to kiss a pig. It really requires to have like a really cool pastor when you want to do these type of things, because not many pastors that I know want to go out and just kiss a pig for no reason. But anyway, so we set our goal to support Sebastian, and we went well over our goal to support Sebastian, that we were able to actually give even more money to Mission Central, to the missionary that came to our church for Mission Fest. So that was a really cool experience, that we were able to help and support a missionary and our child in Haiti. In the past, we also did Pie the Pastor. So on the last day, if we made our goal, or if I know some years we did, if you brought a friend, you could to Vacation Bible School, you could pie the pastor, and he would sit in a chair and the kids would just pie him, and he's a really good sport about it. So, all right. Here's a copy of our schedule from when we do Vacation Bible School. You can see that we have the times and the groups. We divide our groups by age, and it really helps with pre-registration to figure out, okay, how many am I going to have? Do I need to split up kindergarten and preschool? Or is preschool going to be okay with kindergarten? Or what grades should I put together? So the pre-registration really helps with that. We found this last year, we always did 3 groups. But with the Barnyard Roundup, our numbers kept growing every year, and it was almost scary for me, because I wasn't expecting to. We didn't ask for the donations to have how many of our kids it was. I think our number was up to like 60 or 70 kids, and we were not. That was well over what we ever expected to get, so we weren't prepared for that. But we had to adjust, and we made 4 groups instead of 3 groups. One of our biggest group is the smallest group, not the smallest. Our biggest group is the preschool group. And we say that if you have, if your child is potty trained, bring them. Some churches, other churches in our community, I have heard that, oh, you have the potty, you say they can come and they're potty trained, and that's just a bunch of 3-year-olds, and that's just daycare. That's just, but I like to tell them that, okay, but when that 3-year-old goes home and tells their mom and dad about Jesus feeding 5,000 people, that's no longer daycare, that's ministry. So we say, if you're potty trained, come on over. We do have 2 helpers for the smallest group, the preschool group is what we call them. That way, just because if someone needs to go to the bathroom, or sometimes, they're the group that needs the most help, to sit during the opening and closing and for the lessons and that type of thing. So it's always nice to have two helpers there. And then I usually try and get a helper to lead with the other groups. And we did, this last year, we did just name tags by color. So that way they knew, okay, you have this color of name tag, and that way if someone got in a wrong group, we could say, oh, blue group, you're not outside right now, you're down in lesson. So your group already moved. They rotate. But they are all together for the opening and for the closing, and then they have the different stations that they go to for rotation. And all right, this is a schedule of our Friday, a copy of our Friday schedule. Fridays are a little different just because we try to have closure with Vacation Bible School. A lot of the families, we try to excuse me, we try to do like a concert on a Sunday morning, like following Vacation Bible School. That way the congregation and other family members can see the songs that we've been singing and see our crafts that they made and different things like that. However, since a lot of the children that we get to come to Vacation Bible School don't necessarily go to our church, or they might be out of town or something like that, we like to bring closure just for the week. And so what we do then is we have a shortened schedule. And then you see at 11:04, we all meet in the sanctuary for a short closing. And so the kids will get up and they will sing their songs that they've learned throughout the week and different things like that. And when that's over, then we have a picnic. And with the picnic, our congregation is so blessed to have people donate a meal. So we have hot dogs and burgers and chips, and any other leftover food that we might have from Vacation Bible School for the week. They will have that for the picnic for the families, and it's parents and siblings and anybody else, grandmas and grandpas a lot of times have come, and so we really encourage everyone to go with that. And with the Facebook page, I posted daily the week of Vacation Bible School, what we were learning, and told them about the picnic and invited them and encouraged them. I also highly encourage them to join us on Sunday for church for the Mission Fest, or just to sing our songs. After we have the meal is when we do our offering goal. Like if we've made our offering goal, so that's when Pastor Kiss the Pig, or when we would do Pie the Pastor. After that, we would have a water fight. So we would have water balloons and that type of thing. And it's just a fun way to end the week. One thing that's highly, highly, highly important with Vacation Bible School is to keep records. Very detailed records of everything that happens. Make sure you take note of who helped, who volunteered, and what they did. And sometimes the volunteers that I've found in the past where somebody will say, well, I can only help on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm sorry, I can't commit to Tuesday and Thursday. And that's fine, because then I can ask somebody else and say, hey, I only need you 2 days, Tuesday and Thursday. Will you come and help? So it's really important that you keep track of who is volunteering and what they volunteered for. Also, like I said with the snacks, take note of who donated those 2 jugs of juice. Who can donate the next year when you're looking for 2 jugs of juice? Who donated 4 boxes of pudding? So that type of thing. So when you need things for the next year, that way you know who has already donated and who can donate to the years to come. Also, we do a really good job at trying to make sure that we have record of what kids attended and which ones, so if they, some of them like, they only came from Monday through Thursday. So maybe there are ones that go out on Friday, they leave town on Friday, but really keeping track of what kids are attending Vacation Bible School. That way in the next year when you go to send out those postcards or send those flyers out or invite them on Facebook, that way you really target them because you know that they've already came before. And so they will more than likely come again, and they might even bring a friend. It's also important to keep their contact information from year to year. That way, when you're doing the whole pre-registration, you already know mom and dad's number unless it's changed. They will have to tell you that. And like, you know who to contact, who's going to pick up, who's going to drop off, who can walk home from Vacation Bible School in that way. I also, after a long week of Vacation Bible School, it is probably the most stressful week of my year is Vacation Bible School. And I put that picture there because I think it's perfect. I'm tired. I mean, like Vacation Bible School kind of tired. And it's so exhausting when you finally get to that Friday. It's exhausting, but it's also very important as a coordinator to thank and acknowledge those who donated, who helped, who were there and committed their time for a whole week with you. I write sincere thank yous to each and every one of the volunteers that come. And I think it really means a lot to them because when people are appreciated, they will do more than expected. And every year, that's what I get is people are doing more than I ever expect from them because they just do a great job. But really thanking other people for coming and helping is very important. So. All right. And I think I've kind of rushed through everything. So is there any questions?
Okay. No, that's fantastic. Thank you, Kayla. Great information. You said some things that I'm sitting in here and Amy hears me yell amen, sister, there. You really hit on some good stuff. I love when the idea, because I've heard the same thing about the young kids and it just being daycare. And, you know, when they go home and tell their mom about Jesus, that's no longer daycare, and you're absolutely right. I love that. Heather had a question. She said that you said you had 3 groups and then maybe group them into more. If you had to do 2 groups, what age do you suggest making the distinction? How would you split up if you wanted to go into only 2 groups?
It would really depend on the number. So we get so many that are in preschool and that potty trained to preschool. So we'll have like a ton of 3-year-olds. And so we had to make a separate group for them because there was so many. I mean, we couldn't even continue them into kindergarten. And I really think it has to go with the amount of kids. So you can see that for our oldest group, we had 4th, 5th, and 6th grade all together. So they were our oldest group, but we had to put 4th through 6th grade together just because their numbers were so much lower. So I think once when you kind of put them in a line of, okay, this is how many kids I have, and kind of just like go down the middle, what grade or what age group do you have more of, and which age group where you can divide them up. That helps.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, you really got to take a look at who you've got and where the numbers are. And that certainly helps. Just another thought that popped into my head when you were using junior high kids and senior high youth for helpers at VBS. Do you do anything? Because you said you went through 5th grade. Do you do anything for those 6th, 7th, and 8th graders? Maybe special, so they get a little bit of the VBS, but not necessarily because they're too old and cool for VBS once they get to 6th grade. But
yeah. This last year when I was a teacher, I really changed the way that I taught the lesson to them. By 6th grade, they're like, I'm too cool for this, so I'm not going to do the actions to the songs and whatever. But
I
so
gotcha.
the way that I taught to them was so much different the way that I taught to the 3rd graders. It was more of like, okay, I'm being real with you right now, so you can be real with me. And this is what happened in the story that we're teaching you about Jesus. And I actually got some kids in our community that, they were the cool kids. And I got messages from their parents saying, hey, they really get this. This is awesome. And so I think just the way that you approach them, I know when Camp VBS or Camp Okoboji came and did our VBS, one of their helpers was not teaching the preschool age group in a developmentally appropriate way. And so with them, they can't just sit there and listen to you. It's very important to get them up, get them moving, and be okay with that one kid that just can't sit still because they're 3 years old. It's okay. But when they hear something, they're going to get it. So I just think the way that you approach how you teach a lesson to them and how you, like the games. I know with the games, Lucas, who did our games, he's actually the one sitting on the tractor there. He goes to Concordia. But when he would do the games with the older students, it was a more difficult game that he would plan for them than the games that he would plan for the 3-year-olds to preschool.
Excellent. Great. And you kind of hit on something too. And I love that the idea that you're looking for volunteers across the spectrum. Don't count out that 91-year-old lady. She could be fantastic. We had a gentleman when we were still in the parish, and my wife was the VBS superintendent. She had a gentleman. He had lots of time on his hands, and he wanted so badly to help with VBS, but he was never going to show up and lead a group around or teach a lesson or anything. And so she had him building stuff for decorations, and we had the best decorations in the world because he had the time and the desire to do it. So matching people with their talents, and you mentioned that. I think that's so important. Another question here from Heather. When you schedule your VBS, do you need to take other Lutheran or area churches' schedules into account?
Yes, we do. We also try to find out like when surrounding towns are doing their vacation Bible school as well. That way we can kind of share materials, just like the barn when I made the barn. So the next, I think it was 2 weeks after that was Wall Lakes, and that's who borrowed the barn from me, and that was their picture of their setup. That way, I mean, churches, we should work together, not against each other. It's not a competition to find out when the other person is having theirs to see who can have more. So, and not only just with our Lutheran church, with other Lutheran churches, we also, talk to the Presbyterian church because they're another church in our town that does a vacation Bible school. We don't want to do it the same week as them, because we want their Presbyterian kids to come to our church, and we want our Lutheran kids to go to their Presbyterian church vacation Bible school. It's okay to cross for vacation Bible school.
What kinds of supplies are easy to share with other churches?
Like the setup.
Or Mary asked.
What's that?
Mary asked, what kind of supplies are easy to share with other churches?
Okay. Like the setup. Especially like the setup is ideas of what to do for crafts or snacks, and even if you have leftover supplies for crafts, give that to the other church. That way they have something to kind of go off of. Sometimes I know like you can buy those kits and stuff, and some churches will work together, so they'll pay half and half for it and that type of thing. So
yeah, don't be afraid to partner. I think that's one of the talk about a lot is partner together. You can get so much further, and sometimes, like you say, if you buy the kit, you have way more than you need. But if you have somebody you can partner with, it's great. And if you have the ability to do it, take advantage of that. So like you and Wall Lake, you're not very far apart. You can share the decorations. That's wonderful. Another thing that you had mentioned, and I just wanted to emphasize, and you mentioned a couple times that you had partnered with Mission Central, and you actually had a missionary out, so you were putting faces and names with your mission offerings, and that makes such a difference.
Oh, yes. We post a picture of the child Sebastian that we support from Haiti, and with that, so the kids are seeing his picture every day, and they're seeing the silo get more and more filled, and they know when we fill that silo, Sebastian is going to go to school, and he's going to have his basic needs met. And it's so cool for those kids to be so compassionate, but then it's also fun for them because they know there's another initiative to it that pastor will kiss a pig if we are able to get Sebastian to go to school.
Well, and honestly, anything you can do to Pastor Lyons, kissing pigs or pieing him in the face, I think that's great.
Yes.
He happens to
He's
be a
a
good friend of
trooper.
mine. So, and because he used to be a butcher before he went to the seminary, he was thinking, little pork chops there, I'm sure.
Yes.
So another question from Heather. Is there a Facebook group for VBS ideas, especially the CPH themes? That's a good question.
I don't know. That's something that we could probably look into. I know I found a lot of ideas off of Pinterest this year of how to set up things. So if you are a Pinterest person, you can look at different ideas on how to set up. But I don't know anything for CPH if there's a Facebook page to look at, but that would be something.
I'm not aware of any. However, I'm just pulling it up here right now and I'm going to wax poetic for a second because you said Pinterest and ew, that's terrible. We have so many ideas come out of Pinterest and it's great stuff. If you don't have those, I just get a kick out of the Pinterest fails when they try to do something. Yeah. But on Facebook, my wife has actually set up a rural and small town church Facebook page to share ideas for rural and small town congregations, and I'm trying to find what that exactly is called. I'm on it. LCMS Rural and Small Town Youth Workers. So LCMS Rural and Small Town Youth Workers. And of course, yeah. Oh, Jeff, thank you, Jeff. Facebook as CPH VBS. Excellent. So you've got that opportunity there from CPS, and then you've got just search on there LCMS Rural and Small Town Youth Workers, and so there's a great place to share some VBS ideas as well. So that is all the questions I've got. I don't see any more coming up in our chat feature. Kayla, thank you so much. Great stuff. I'm sure Kayla would make herself available if you wanted to contact her for questions or ideas. I'm sure she would love to hear from you and give you a chance to share with the things that she has done. So fantastic. Couple of things coming up on our schedule. We continue the Teaching the Faith series. Teaching the Faith Confirmation. That'll be led by Kenton Bertel. Pastor Bertel is the pastor at Mount Calvary in Holdridge, Nebraska. He does some great work with confirmation. And then Revitality for Rural and Small Town Congregations webinar will be Teaching the Faith will be, I'm trying to remember where we're at, March, and then we move into April, we'll have that Revitality for Rural and Small Town Congregations, and then my wife, Angela Kolbaum, our youth director here at St. Paul's, and also a 6th grade Sunday school teacher, will be leading Teaching the Faith Sunday School. And we also have some events coming up here in the near future. On the 18th of March, we'll have an Engaging Your Community event in Sparta, Illinois at St. John's Lutheran Church. On the 19th of March, we'll be doing an Engaging the Wandering Ministry to Inactives event at Wall Lake, Iowa. So I'll be up in my old stomping grounds again. And then in April, we will be doing Engaging the Wandering event at St. John Sand Prairie. That's in Green Valley, Illinois. All of the information for those events are on our website, as well as the archive for Kayla's webinar and our other webinars. They're on our website, which Amy just shared with you. So we encourage you to take advantage of those resources. Thank you so much, Kayla, for being with us today and sharing with us. God's blessings to you all in your ministries.
Thank you.